Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Leviticus, the 22nd chapter. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, and that they profane not my holy name in those things which they hallow unto me. I am the Lord Yahweh. And what this means is basically the things that are separated out unto the Lord are to be treated with care as sacred or holy and not to be defiled. Tell Aaron and his sons in the NLT to be very careful with the sacred gifts that the Israelites set apart for me, so they do not bring shame on my holy name. I am the Lord. Say unto them, whosoever he be of all your seed among your generations, that goeth on to the holy things which the children of Israel hallow unto the Lord, having his uncleanness about him. So you're unclean and you go and you deal with the holy things. That soul shall be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord Yahweh. See, so if you go to, you say you go to like try and eat of it, right? To eat of something holy, or to better make sure you don't do this, but you go try to offer it unto the Lord. That is while you're unclean, you're basically going to be discontinued from the service or in the presence of the Lord, right? That's it. You're done. You ain't allowed back here to do this no more. So it says here, verse 4, what man soever of the seed of Aaron is a leper, or hath a running issue, that is a discharge, he shall not eat of the holy things until he be clean. So you may be a priest, you have the seed of Aaron, but if you're a leper, or you have this discharge that's making you unclean, you can't eat of the holy things until you're clean. And whoso toucheth anything that is unclean by the dead, or a man whose seed goeth from him. So you become defiled or unclean due to something that is dead, right? Or your seed of copulation go out from you, which makes you unclean. Or whosoever toucheth any creeping thing, whereby he may be made unclean, or a man of whom he may take uncleanness. So you touch some bug or something that makes you unclean, or you touch somebody that is unclean. Like when we went through the law of a man who has a discharge, right? Gonorrhea or something like that, for example. It says if you touch their flesh, or if they don't wash their hands and they touch you, it makes you unclean. That's an example of a man of whom he may take uncleanness, somebody by whom you can become unclean. Whatsoever uncleanness he hath, here the Lord is specifying. It could be this, it could be that, it could be this. Whatever the case is, if you are unclean, the soul which hath touched any such shall be unclean until even, and shall not eat of the holy things unless he wash his flesh with water. What this means is you basically are befallen by any one of these circumstances, you become unclean until the evening. You cannot eat of the holy things. You have to wash your flesh, you have to clean yourself, wash your clothes, and you have to wait until sundown. Verse 7, and when the sun is down, he shall be clean, and shall afterward eat of the holy things, because it is his food. And the holy things are the meat, or the portion, the meat offering, or the actual meat from the sacrifice that is set apart for the priests. That is the holy things. As it says, it is his food. That which dieth of itself, or is torn with beasts, he shall not eat, to defile himself therewith. I am the Lord. They shall therefore keep my ordinance, lest they bear sin for it. See, so basically, follow what the Lord has said, or else you will suffer the consequence, right? You will be guilty of the sin of disobeying or defiling the sacred or holy things of the Lord, and die therefore. If they profane it, I, the Lord Yahweh, do sanctify them. There shall no stranger eat of the holy thing. Now, the stranger here is talking about basically anybody that is not consecrated as a priest or allowed to eat of the holy things, because we know here these belong onto the priest, right? It is their food, it is their meat. The only other case is when someone comes to offer a peace offering, right? Then a portion of that goes to the priest, but also the offerer can eat of it because they're, so long as they're clean. But typically in this sense, this is basically anybody that's not a priest can't eat of the holy things. A sojourner of the priest or an hired servant shall not eat of the holy thing. So you're somebody that's living with the priest, newly coming to the land, or you're a hired servant. You're not going to be allowed to eat of the holy thing. But if the priest buy any soul with his money, he shall eat of it. So if you are bought, meaning you're owned, right, by the priest, then you belong to him. You're of his house, right, of his possession. So then you can eat of it, as it says. And he that is born in his house, so the sons and daughters and so on, but also could probably be born of the the priest's owned servant, right, the one who he bought with money, because that's why it mentions born in his house. They shall eat of his meat, because they're of his house, so they can eat of it. If the priest's daughter also be married unto a stranger, she may not eat of an offering of the holy things, because now basically she becomes a part of that man's house, right? And let's go into this word stranger here. First, let's look at this in another translation, right? It says here, if the priest's daughter is married to an outsider, so it's not a heathen, right? But just stranger in the sense of one that is not in this immediate circle of what the subject matter is here. So here, if a priest's daughter is married to an outsider, as it says, or someone outside the priestly family, as it says in the NLT, she may not eat of the holy things or the holy offerings. And as it says here, she may no longer eat of the sacred offerings. And when we look at that word there, stranger, it's ayash. Look at that, a man. Okay. So here you can see it's more so in reference to a man that is not of that priestly family, as it just said. But if the priest's daughter be a widow or divorced and have no child, and is returned unto her father's house as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's meat, but there shall no stranger eat thereof. Okay. So anybody that's not of his household is not going to be able to eat thereof. And if a man eat of the holy thing unwittingly, then he shall put the fifth part thereof onto it, and shall give it unto the priest with the holy thing. So if you, without knowing, right, unknowingly, you go and eat this holy thing, which you're not supposed to, then you're gonna basically pay it back, right, as it says here in the NLT. Any such person who eats the sacred offerings without realizing it must pay the priest for the amount eaten, plus an additional 20%, because that is the priest's food. That is for him and his household. And so you got to pay for that, plus an additional 20%. Verse 15, and they shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel, which they offer unto the Lord Yahweh, or suffer them to bear the iniquity of trespass when they eat their holy things, for I, the Lord Yahweh, do sanctify them. So that's why the Lord is telling Moses this, to tell Aaron and his sons, so they know, so that they don't bear the iniquity of trespassing against the Lord concerning the holy things and how it should be eaten and what are the cases concerning it. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron and to his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, whatsoever he be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers in Israel, that will offer his oblation for all his vows, and for his freewill offerings, which they will offer unto the Lord Yahweh for a burnt offering. So matters concerning here, once again, is dealing with foreigners, Israelite foreigners, ones that maybe weren't born in the land, right, but come in and are dwelling with you, or a Israelite, a native born one. When they offer a sacrifice or an oblation for a vow, right? Either like the completion of a vow, or for a free will offering, that is a voluntary offering. This is how you go about it. Verse 19. Ye shall offer at your own will a male without blemish of the beeves, which is cattle, so your bull, oxen, of the sheep or of the goats. So when you come to bring this offering, it has to be male without blemish and of one of these types. But whatsoever hath a blemish, a defect, that shall ye not offer, for it shall not be accepted for you. And whosoever offereth a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord to accomplish his vow, or a freewill offering in beeves or sheep, which is your cattle or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein. Okay, so you come to offer an offering for your vow, for the completion of your vow, or a willing, free, voluntary offering. It can't have any defects. Blind or broken or maimed or having a wen. And when you go into that, so it's either blind, right, or it has some broken bones, or it's losing a limb, right, or it has a wen. Let's go into that word. Yabal, a running sore, okay, an ulcer. So like an open wound, right, or it's wounded. Let's take a look here. Right, it says here in the NKJV, right, having an ulcer or eczema or scabs. In the NLT, right, blind, crippled, or injured, or that has a wart, a skin sore, or scabs. The Lord ain't trying to have that. Ye shall not offer these unto the Lord Yahweh, nor make an offering by fire of them upon the altar unto the Lord. Either a bullock or a lamb that hath anything superfluous or lacking in his parts, that mayest thou offer for a freewill offering, but for a vow it shall not be accepted. So if you are coming to offer an offer for a vow, like say you're completing a vow and you're coming to offer an offering to the Lord, it cannot have any blemishes. It cannot have any defects. It can't be maimed. It can't have any of those. The Lord is not going to accept it. That's what he's saying here. But if it's a free will offering, like a voluntary peace offering, for example, or so, right? That's the free will offering. If it's a bullock or a ram, and it has anything superfluous or lacking in its parts, for example, it may be slightly, not perfect looking, right? Maybe a little injury here or there. That mayest thou offer for a free will offering. See, you can offer it for a free will offering, but if it's for a vow, it's not going to be accepted. Okay, it says here, NLT, if a bull or lamb has a leg that is too long or too short, it may be offered as a voluntary offering, but it may not be offered to fulfill a vow. Verse 24, ye shall not offer unto the Lord Yahweh that which is bruised or crushed or broken or cut. And this is dealing, more specifically with an animal whose testes or testicles is wounded, right? Bruised, crushed, broken, cut. Neither shall ye make any offering thereof in your land. And that's why when you look at most of the other translations, they reference, even though it's omitted here in the original KJV, they reference it here in the sense of the it says, right, damaged testicles, castrated, right, animals, testicles, so on and so forth. Because most of these words, right, for the defects are like pertinent in this sense. Like somebody who was reading this in the Old English, or somebody at the time would immediately know, even if it didn't explicitly mention testicles, they would know this is what it's referring to based on how it's described. Either way, you're not supposed to make any offering thereof in your land unto the Lord of that kind. Neither from a stranger's hand shall ye offer the bread of your God of any of these, because their corruption is in them, and the blemishes be in them. they shall not be accepted for you. So whether it's a stranger, a sojourner that is, or a native Israelite, these laws apply one and the same. If your animal has this kind of defect, you don't come and offer it. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, when a bullock or a sheep or a goat is brought forth, then it shall be 7 days under the dam, that is basically being breastfed by its mom. And from the 8th day and henceforth it shall be accepted for an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So you can bring it as a sacrifice unto the Lord from that 8th day on. And whether it be a cow or ewe, which is a female lamb, ye shall not kill it and her young both in one day. So you're not supposed to kill the mother and its child in the same day. And when ye will offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving unto the Lord Yahweh, offer it at your own will. That's why it's an example of a free will offering, because it's voluntary, right? On the same day it shall be eaten up, ye shall leave none of it until the morrow. I am the Lord Yahweh. So this is being a thanksgiving offering, slightly different from a peace offering, because I believe the peace offering, you could eat it you have up to 2 days, right? On the third day, you cannot eat it. The Thanksgiving offering, as it says, you're not supposed to leave any until the morrow. Anything that is left over until the next day has to be burned. If it's eaten, you've violated that offering. Therefore shall ye keep my commandments and do them. I am the Lord Yahweh. Neither shall ye profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed among the children of Israel. I am the Lord Yahweh which hallow you, that brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord Yahweh. So in violating these laws and ordinances and statutes the Lord has given us, you would be profaning the holy name of the Lord that he has put within us and associated with us, right? Like if your children go and commit heinous crimes and they're just known for being notoriously wicked, that's profaning your name, your family name. That's putting a stain on your name, because they're gonna refer to, like, isn't that such and such's son, isn't that such and such's daughter, that's such a whore over there. Okay, so by their actions your name and your reputation is profaned, and it's similar with the Lord. That's why he says we got to follow these ways so we don't profane his name, because we are hallowed through the Lord. And that brings us to the end of the book of Leviticus, the 22nd chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.